Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. I'm up here on the Car Hill Expressway, and it's another glorious morning here in Sydney. A glorious autumn day, and if I look up into the sky, I can see the moon there, just a slither of the moon, which looks like a little happy face, little happy smile there. So a wonderful expression of nature, and a beautiful start to the day. There's a gentle breeze blowing, looks like it's an easterly coming from the east. There's a ferry there heading off to Manly to start its daily run, and what we're going to do is just go on a short walk and talk and have a chat about a book summary called Strengthfinder 2.0 by an author named Tom Rath. So good morning to my friends, and I hope we all have a fantastic day today. So the author kicks off his book with a quote where he says quite boldly, and it's a wonderful way to start the day: you cannot be anything or anything. You cannot be anything you want to be, but you most certainly be a whole lot more of who you already are. So this book is all about focusing on our strengths, and the author says that we must exaggerate our strengths in trying to, as opposed to trying to fix our flaws. We spend far too much energy and time, and we worry way too much about ironing out the wrinkles and fixing chunks and chinks in our armour, instead of doing what we're already great at. And I guess perfectionists are the ones who suffer the most, who try and be perfect in every little which way they can in their lives, and end up suffering a lot and undergoing a lot of personal pain. But the author here gives us a very, very simple call to action, and that call to action is don't worry. Don't worry too much about the stuff that you're not great at, because we are all born with natural gifts, God-given gifts, that we can nurture and we can leverage off, and we don't have to work too hard at, because they come naturally to us. A lot of those gifts are based on our DNA, what we've inherited from our parents, our foreparents, our previous generations, in terms of the way our brains are wired, and the physical capabilities that we have to enable us to maximise on our abilities. So the author here goes about listing 34 strengths, and one of the things that he calls out is that we need to focus on our strengths and to be able to identify, first and foremost, what we're good at. A lot of people don't know or can't quite articulate what they're really good at. So the author has a list of 34 strengths that you can basically have a read of, and basically do your own inventory count and baseline your beliefs or your observations against a fixed list of important strengths, so that you're able to understand and know and communicate to yourself what you're good at, and also use that to be able to communicate to the people around you what you're good at and great at as well. Because the key to excelling is knowing your strengths and tapping into them and leveraging them, rather than worrying and being distracted and feeling incomplete and useless about any weakness or any strength that you don't have. So a really, really good way to start the day, start our discussion, is to focus on our strengths. The author then goes on to talk about two types of strengths which are really, really powerful and key strengths that all of us should consider. And that's the believer and the futurist. Because being a believer or being a futurist is a great for co-founders and benchmarks and baselines. So, which are the key or most important strengths to have is another question that the author raises with us. So going back to the believer and futurists categories, a believer is someone who can't separate motivation from belief. So we all must, as a matter of priority, find something to believe in, something where we believe strongly in, and something that'll get us up early in the morning and keep us up late at night. So tap in to what you really, really believe in and what really motivates you. A futurist, on the other hand, is someone who can see beyond what most people can see and think what is possible. They can see and think about things and visualize things and manifest things that other people can't even quite contemplate and understand. They create their own vision of the future and paint a picture so vivid that they inspire others to deliver their best work and change for the better. So the ideal is for us to be both futurists and believers. I have a number of people who are friends of mine who claim to be futurists, and yet they are quite negative in their views. So the pictures that they're painting, or they think that they're painting, are negative pictures. They paint very, very vivid pictures about a negative future. So instead of inspiring people to greatness, what they are in fact doing is they're inspiring people to limit themselves and to go into their shells and to become timid, or to become bold with doing nothing is one way of looking at it. I often laugh at how people see themselves, but how they portray themselves. People see themselves as a lot better and a lot stronger than what they actually end up delivering. But that's a topic for another day. So we'll go on to the third structured point to come out of this text, where the author talks about the importance of creating strong social bonds. And the types of social bonds and the types of personality that the author refers to is the Harmonizer, or the responsible. I've never heard of these terms used before, but they do come up and are quite interesting in trying to learn about and trying to understand. So what's a Harmonizer? A Harmonizer is a person who always looks to find the most diplomatic solution, so a social consensus is reached. They try to make everyone happy. The happy family, the happy groupie, and the people who thrive in an environment of teamwork, where teamwork is essential, where hierarchies are flat and everyone shares the same beliefs. So we should all strive to be harmonizers as best we can, because it does sound to be a great trait or a great leadership style to have. And the responsibles, the people who love to be responsible, are the ones who try to never let people down. And they're great for jobs where reliability is the key, but they're always at risk of burning out and taking on far too much. And once you take on something and you don't want to let other people down, then you tend to let yourself down. So one of the key lessons from this author is that if you are responsible, you need to learn to say no in order not to let those people down who depend on your skills, and to not run yourself ragged. So I guess that leaves us there. So thank you very much for joining me this morning on this early morning version, this early morning episode of Jim's 5am Club, where I come to you from the Cahill Expressway, poised up here above Circular Quay. I've mentioned before, time and time again, I used to come down to Circular Quay as a kid with my dear father, who I always think about and love. And I remember as a kid saying that if ever I grow up, I would love to be coming down here on a regular basis and just making the most of this location, which is quite unique. And I'd imagine that there are many people from all over the world who would cut off their right arm to be where I am today, and to be down here sharing this wonderful view and on this still yet beautiful morning. So let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable, and let's take some lessons from this book entitled Strengthfinder 2.0 by Tom Rath, and learn A, what our strengths are, and B, to focus on our strengths, express our strengths, make the most of our strengths, and not to worry about the things that we're not really good at, because there'll be a lot of things that we're not good at. But at the end of the day, God gives us some charismata, some gifts that we need to use and express and to translate into good works. And we all have different combinations of strengths, and the key is to make the most of them when you can. So to everybody, I encourage you to get up, get out of the house and make the most of the things that you're good at, what you're great at, and to deliver those with love, with passion to all of those around you, to be able to complement and supplement their strengths and their weaknesses with your God-given gifts. Yasas, Filakya from Jim at Jim's 5am Club, and have a wonderful day. Yasas, I love you so much. Bye for now.